No intro screen tonight, guys. I was in a rush, got back home late from work, but I need everybody in the chat. I need Mr. Baddog to do me a favor. Stand up, New York Giants.
I'm not standing up again.
All right, guys, we had a little bit of technical difficulties there. I think we are back now. Let us know if we are live, and it's offline. Yes, Johnny, I think we are live now. Let me know if we are online. Thank you to everybody for being a part of the stream. I know it's delayed, so we'll see it pop in probably in about 15, 20 seconds. So bad it was can't. No, we are live, guys. Let us know. Okay, Carlos Rodriguez, thank you for letting me know. Mr. Bad Dog, sorry, man, got caught up at work.
It happens.
How was your day, my man? We are live, guys.
Well, let me get rid of this. Hold on a second.
Thank you for letting me know. Mr. Bad Dog, sorry.
There we go. Okay, now I think we're good. All right, this is what happens when you're in a hurry. It happens. How's my day? Yeah, same old crap. It's crap. It's work. You gotta work. Sucks.
Our Mets and Yankees had a subway split.
We kind of figured that's what it would be.
Yeah.
We were talking last night. We figured that's what it would
doubleheaders usually expect the split. Just want to say thank you for everybody for being here. Donnie is in the house. G-Man409 in the house. Crazy Mofo in the house. Thomas the Tank Engine. Eric Hartnett in the house. What's going on? Cushman. Lolly Mac just brought the puppies and the ducks. I appreciate that. Bavit, how you doing, my man?
Yes.
So we got a couple of things to talk about. Giants OTAs underway. Daniel Jones looking good. And how about this kid Slayton?
Your last video, not the one you did today, but the video before, I put in there Darius Slayton's going to be the number 3 receiver, and I think he is. Maybe not to start the season. By mid-season, he's going to be number 3. He's I liked him at Auburn. He was pretty good. Now he's not a huge guy, 6'1", 180, but it's not small.
Yeah, he's not a midget.
Right, and he runs a 4.40, sub 4.40. And, whatever happened to him, I remember the first couple of days in OTAs, he was getting reamed out. Like, he was running wrong routes, but he picked it up like that. And to me, that told a lot about his character.
Right.
Because you're a rookie, it's like your first day in OTAs, you're getting reamed out by the car. I mean, he could have just said, it could have put him in a bad space mentally. And instead, he responded, and he's kicked ass. He's been one of the best players in OTAs and, in minicamp.
They had him with the first team today. Well, and for a 5th-round pick, a guy that, we didn't even know make the roster. I think he's definitely going to make the roster now, and he may be an impact player, and we didn't see that. I didn't see that on this year's roster. You thought for sure Latimer Coleman would be above him on the depth chart, and they still might be. But that's going to be an interesting battle in camp.
Definitely. And you can never have too many wide receivers. I like the fact that we got some speedsters out there because, again, Slayton would probably play on the outside and Coleman would play on the outside. And then it'll, if those guys ever, became great or lived up to their potential, you could put Sterling Shepard in the slot. And although Shepard can play outside, his best games are in the slot. Sterling Shepard reminds me a lot of Victor Cruz, man. He just does. I mean, Victor Cruz could play on the outside, but he was so much better in the slot.
Yeah,
that's Sterling Shepard to me. I think Sterling Shepard and Victor Cruz are very similar. That's why I was so
I agree with you. I'm not going to compare him to Victor Cruz when Victor Cruz is at his best yet. Shepard drops too many balls, but I get the versatility aspect of his game where he could go both on the inside and out. And Slayton might be that type of receiver too. I mean, they are saying that he has a great his route running ability was underrated. And of course he's got great vertical leap. I think he had a 41-inch vertical leap I read today at the combine. Yeah. So he's a really good athlete, and he's been the star of training camp so far. He really has.
Yeah, he and Peppers, man, they've both been awesome. So, I think the thing I'm most excited about is their talk about Daniel Jones's arm strength.
Yeah.
Like Daniel. Oh, I just want to say I see my man DWG's in the house. Last time I did his stream, he said, "How the hell didn't you see me?" I just happened to notice him there. So DWG, quick shout out to him.
Thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up. And by the way, Mr. Bad Dog's channel is in the description below if you want to go over there and check him out. Appreciate everybody for being here. But go ahead. You're talking about Daniel Jones. I love talking about him.
Yeah, the fact that his arm strength is so much better than they initially thought. To me, that's the big thing because his arm strength is a big question. And like I said, obviously when we drafted him, a lot of us didn't watch a ton of film on him. We all wanted Josh Allen. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else. Me, I wanted Josh Allen.
Obviously, I did too. If you watched you were with me. Yeah,
Daniel Jones. Yeah. Who I didn't have him on our board. I didn't care. So when they took him, like, what are you doing? But when I go back and watch it, I'm like, his receivers did drop a lot of passes, so his numbers were skewed. I mean, I think he had 38 drops. his junior year, and that's ridiculous. If they catch 30 of them, his completion percentage is about 70%.
Right.
And obviously his numbers would be a lot better.
Not to mention the offensive line was horrendous.
Awful.
Yeah.
He had no NFL players around.
Right.
None. And I think it was Brian Baldinger, who I usually don't even agree with a lot of times. He'll do a game. I'm like, what are you talking about? But he did a film session on him, and he showed all the drops, like how Daniel Jones is putting the ball in the perfect spot, and they had all the drops. Now, was it David Deal? Was it Deal that said?
No, O'Hara.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Saying that he's a combination of Peyton and – can you imagine a combination of Peyton and Eli with the mobility factor?
I got to say, I'm a very optimistic guy. I've tried to be very optimistic this offseason. I've been very positive. And thank you so much, Johnny Morawski, for the super chat. Dilly, Mr. Baddog. Thank you so much for that. Daniel Jones over under starting. That's probably the perfect number, Johnny. And I've said for weeks that if I was the coach, now if they get off to a 1-5 start, I put them in there. But looking at the Giants' schedule, I really don't think they get off to a 1-5 start. I think they have some games that they could win early on in the schedule. I think they'll be a 3-3 team after 6 games. I really do. And if that was the case, I think I would wait till after the bye. I would wait till week 12 to insert them if the Giants were out of it. Of course, if they're in the playoff picture, you roll with Eli. But if they're out of it, I would bring them in after that bye, week 11.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But I'm not an optimistic guy. Never have been. I am a pessimistic guy. I'm a guy half empty. This is half empty.
What are you drinking, by the way?
It's Diet Pepsi.
You're going to go to the bathroom again.
I know. We're not streaming as long. Yeah, I know. That runs through me. It's crazy. But, yeah, man, Daniel Jones, he's looked really good. I'm like I said, I'm a pessimistic guy, but I go into the season cautiously optimistic. And the more I watch Daniel Jones, the more I'm like, all right, I'm going to roll with this kid. Maybe, and like I said, he's not as bad as I thought he was. The film showed a lot better than the numbers. Improving our offensive line for him is huge. Having a Saquon Barkley behind him will be huge for him because we've talked about this last year, how you get that running back because you want a solid running back for your rookie quarterback. If you have, like we talked about, if you have Sam Darnold turning and handing off to Wayne Gallman with that horrible offensive line, Sam Darnold don't make it through the year.
Right.
And Sam Darnold got hurt with the Jets anyway.
Oh, thank you so much, Cesar Munoz, for the Dilly. And I completely agree with you on your Sam Darnold point. I say only play Jones if either the Giants are locked into a playoff spot or if the Giants are out of playoff contention. That may be the case. I think that is going to be what happens. It's good. I know that Pat Shurmur's saying. I really think Pat Shurmur's saying that of course, he came out today, and that was a very telling quote. He did kind of say that he would not guarantee that Eli's going to be the day one starter when he could have kind of locked it up. But I still think Eli's the day one starter. You're paying him $23 million, and he's the guy that's going to be the mentor. So that's what I think, and I think that will be what happens, Cesar Munoz. Now, if they're 0-4, technically they're not out of playoff contention. But if they're 0-4, 0-5, I think that's when Daniel Jones would see the field. I don't expect that, though. I think the Giants get off to a decent start this year.
Yeah, the Pat Shurmur thing, he actually said that a while back. I remember doing a video on that about the quarterback competition, and I pretty much said Pat Shurmur has to say that. I mean, Pat Shurmur wants everybody to be ready for week 1. So he's not going to say, yeah, Eli's a starter, Daniel Jones isn't. He's going to say, oh, there's a possibility, but, he's not going to commit to that because he wants everybody. What he said, when I did the video, he said Daniel Jones needs to be ready for week 1. And a lot of people took that as, he has a chance to start. No, what that means is everybody, Alex Tanner should be ready for week 1. Wayne Gallman should be ready for week 1. Darius Slade, whoever that makes this roster needs to be ready for week 1.
Right.
Everybody needs to be ready to start week 1 because you just never know.
Right.
God forbid something happens to Eli in the first quarter against the Cowboys. Daniel Jones got to be ready to play game 1. So,
yeah. So technically, he's saying something that could be interpreted many different ways, but he's saying the politically correct thing.
It's what a head coach does, man.
Yeah, but we'll see, man. And I completely agree with you. The point you made that they are really setting, I think, Daniel, and I've been saying this for months, they are setting Daniel Jones up for success with the way they're building this team, drafting Saquon Barkley last year. I think next year they're going to get another really strong piece for that offensive line. And I think, maybe they get that big ticket. I don't think it'll be next year. Maybe the year after they get a big ticket wide receiver. They could draft a wide receiver in the first round because they always have that option to cut Tate after next year, right? Because I think it was a $4.5 million dead cap hit. So if he's not performing up to snuff, which is very possible, I think he's 31, 32. So he could be on the outskirts there at that point, and maybe you bring in a top-tier wide receiver there. But I think they are setting Daniel Jones up for success, not to mention he's learning from the best possible guy you could ever learn under. I mean, the best Giants quarterback, best New York quarterback as far as I'm concerned in the history of New York football. So I think that Daniel Jones, I don't know. I got to see him play in a game-time situation. But I think Daniel Jones is in a perfect situation to succeed. I really do.
Yeah, like I said, we talked about it last year. You want that running back to take pressure off a rookie quarterback. You want to be able to run the ball so that guy's not running for his life, so that you're not one-dimensional on offense. You want to be 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, where the linebackers can just tee off and that you can blitz knowing that a pass is coming and kill it. It happened to David Carr, with the Texans. I mean, they couldn't block, they couldn't run, and then he got killed. So you don't want that to happen to your rookie quarterback. I mean, I look at what Dallas did. Dak Prescott would have never succeeded if he didn't have Ezekiel Elliott. Not the way he did his rookie year. Now, there's film on these guys. So, obviously, their strengths and weaknesses now. You've been able to see it. But you see what Dallas did that year when they – not that they planned on starting Dak. They definitely didn't.
Dilly. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, if Cruz never gets hurt, how does history change? That's a good question, Carlos Rodriguez. Obviously, Cruz, it's a good question. They might have been able to compete. I don't think so, though, because of all the poor drafts after the fact. The offensive line wasn't even that great that year. They won the Super Bowl. They would have been more competitive. I don't think they win another Super Bowl, even if he stays healthy.
Yeah, he was near the end of his career anyway. He was getting older. He wasn't a young guy when he took off either.
Yeah.
So. But, what Dallas did, they had a great offensive line. And, again, this is just to speak to it. They didn't draft Dak Prescott to say, hey, you're playing week 1. They were rolling with Tony Romo. Tony Romo got hurt. Dak Prescott had to play, but they had the offensive line there.
Right.
They drafted Zeke 4th overall that year. So they had it in place just in case Dak Prescott had to play. They had it in place. So that's what they're doing with Daniel Jones. They get Zeitler, who's one of the best right guards in the league. They upgraded over there on the left side last year by drafting Will Hernandez and getting Nate Solder. We signed Mike Remmers. Not that Mike Remmers is a great –
he's an upgrade.
But he's way better than
I'd be an upgrade. But the guy on that line that I'm really looking at, I mean, obviously Zeitler, but I think Hernandez could take a huge step forward this year. And I've been reading a lot of articles. People think that this guy could potentially be a Pro Bowler type guard this year. So I'm really excited to see what Hernandez brings to the table this year. Zeitler, we know what we're getting. Zeitler, he's one of the top 3, 4, 5 guards in all of football. And I think that is a very underrated acquisition by the Giants this year that is going to pay dividends for the next 3 or 4 years. And we'll see how Jalapeno does at the center spot. But I think at worst the Giants have an average offensive line this year, which is refreshing. We have not had an average offensive line in a decade. So it's a turning of a corner. I think they're starting to develop a new identity. So it's going to take more than 1 year. It's going to probably it's going to be like Eli, right? When we brought in Eli, second year we were 11-5.
Yes, we were.
So
second year we also had Tiki Barber running for 1,860 yards
because of an offensive line.
And there's the Saquon Barkley that can run for 1,860 yards.
Yeah, exactly. They set him up for success. They put the parts around him. Mm-hmm. And one other thing I want to talk about before I forget, I was so happy that the Oakland Raiders were awarded Hard Knocks.
Oh God,
Keep the Giants away from HBO. I don't want those distractions, please. And so I was happy that I heard that today.
I think you mentioned it last week. I think we talked about this a little bit, and you even said, why the hell would they want the Giants? The Giants have no characters.
Right.
They have Saquon Barkley. He's a stand-up guy. He's not you're not going to get a lot of headlines out of him. You got Eli Manning. You're not going to get headlines out of him. Daniel Jones isn't going to make headlines. There's no controversy with the Giants.
Right. Golden Tate.
There's no flair. Yeah. They're all consummate professionals.
Yeah.
How's that going to get
the Raiders? You got John Gruden, you got Antonio Brown, you got these big personalities, and the fans and the storyline that they're going to be leaving Oakland, they're going to Vegas. The Raiders are a much more sexy team. I'm just happy because I never wanted the Giants ever to be on that show. Every year that the Giants have a potential to be on that show, I pray that they're not, because I just think it's a distraction. It is. It takes away from focus at training camp because people are worried about the cameras. I mean, I'd rather my team be focused at training camp. I'll enjoy watching the Raiders on HBO.
Right. We got rid of the distractions. We
Right.
we got rid of the Vernons.
Right.
We got rid of the Collins. We got rid of the Odell Beckhams. We got rid of them because they were a distraction. So we don't need a distraction of HBO being in their face all the time.
Right.
So it's it's Mustard Bus is in the house. I haven't seen Mustard Bus in a long time.
I love Mustard Bus. If you haven't done so, go check out Mustard Bus. That guy is hilarious. Thank you for popping in, Mustard Bus. Thank you to everybody for being here, by the way. If you haven't done so, what's going on, Sneaky Feet, Last Jedi, Rafael DeLuna, Angel Rodriguez, Bigger Mike. Thank you to everybody for being here. Woompog Duty. Doodle. I'm sorry, I mispronounced that name.
Womp Bag Doodle, Chris.
Hit that thumbs up, join the channel, ring the bell, go into the link in the description, and sub up Mr. Baddog 7676. What's going on, Manny Roman? Thank you for tuning into the stream. What talk about New York Nick? No, this is a football show. This is New York Giants tonight. We're talking New York Giants.
We do it every week.
Yes, we do this once a week. We alternate channels. But then we'll take questions in probably about 15 minutes because there's not a ton to talk about. We're talking OTAs, But yeah, I mean, it's just refreshing that it seems like everybody's on the right page, and that's kind of been the moral of training camp so far. Is it's been, we haven't felt that way, and at least since Beckham's been here. 4 or 5 years. It's been there's always headaches, and it seems like this team is focused and motivated.
Well, what I like to hear is that it seems like all the rookies are doing pretty well. I mean, Julian Love is playing great. DeAndre Baker, he's going to be good. I haven't heard much about Dexter Lawrence, though. I'm not.
Good point. I haven't heard anything about Dexter Lawrence.
Haven't heard much about him.
Not Lorenzo Carter either, not much.
No, I'm saying the guys that they drafted. The rookies.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying. But yeah.
I haven't heard anything about Dexter Lawrence. But, because we've heard about Daniel Jones, we've heard about Slayton, we've heard about Conley's look good at times. The corners look great.
Right.
So I'm surprised you haven't heard anything about Dexter Lawrence. It's strange.
Actually, you know what? No, that's not true. Earlier in OTAs, they did talk about how they were using Dexter Lawrence on the end.
Outside.
Yeah,
that was about it, though. I haven't heard anything about
his progression. Yeah. But they were saying that they were testing him out on the edges and the inside. Yep. So we'll see what they do with that. 342-pound defensive end, probably something we don't expect.
He's to drop weight. They're saying he's going to try to get down to 315 before the season starts. We'll see if it happens.
Yeah.
But that's what he's saying. And 40 looks at the X-Man, and he's looked good this round of OTAs.
Yeah, so, they were saying that he was getting around the edge, and he had a good first step. Him and Golden, they specifically pointed out, looked good on the edge.
So I'm excited to hear that the rookies are performing well. This is a good thing. And again, the guys last year, they got to take a step up. Lorenzo Carter's got to take a big step forward. BJ Hill. I mean, those guys had good years last year.
Yeah.
But if the Giants are going to succeed on defense, those guys need to take a step up. They have to. I don't really know what else.
I think Golden could be a huge X factor for this defense this year.
Yep.
I think Golden, if he's healthy, I think he's going to lead the team in sacks if he's healthy. I really do.
And we need him. We have a very young defense.
Yeah.
A very young defense.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said,
Jenkins is going to play a vital part for this team.
Yes, because we need, and so is Bethea. We need those veteran guys in the secondary to teach these young guys, how to play. Like in Sam Beal. I mean, you got Beal, Love, Ballantyne, and DeAndre Baker, of course. Yeah. So I like our secondary a lot. I like the way the secondary is going, and if we get a pass rush to go to a good secondary, the defense is going to be good. The defense is good. That's going to help out the offense. The offense is good. It's going to help out the defense, and before you know it, you're 11-5 again.
Yeah,
and you're competing for the division title. So
we're not predicting 11-5. Let's not say we're predicting.
Not this year. Not this year.
Yeah, I know.
But the Giants aren't going to be a laughingstock anymore. It'll be refreshing when we're good again.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, us Giants fans, me being as old as I am, I saw 4 Super Bowls. A lot of teams don't have 4 Super Bowls. A lot of people haven't. I've seen more Super Bowls the Giants won than 95% of the Cowboys fans on YouTube. I should say probably more than that because the Cowboys won 4 from 1977 up. I mean, I wasn't even old enough to see the Cowboys win 4 championships. So, the Patriots, that's one team.
That's the only team. I was born in 1985. Since I've been alive, the only team that's won more Super Bowls is the New England Patriots.
Yep. So, I'm not saying I haven't had it good, but us, the younger Giants fans and, us guys that have been around a long time, we deserve our Giants to be good. Last 7 years have been rough. It's about time to turn the corner.
This has been
aberration. We weren't good in 2016. We won a lot of close games against a lot of bad teams.
Right. But the 2 years specifically has probably been the worst 2-year stretch, maybe in Giants history. In modern day, in our lifetime. Yeah.
In my lifetime, yes, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I can't think of two worst years in a row. Maybe 98, 99 were not good.
But the expectations makes it even worse because in 2017 we had high expectations.
Huge.
Yeah,
because we had gotten
11-5. We got Brandon Marshall, and people were
they drafted Evan Ingram.
Yeah, and people were picking us to be a Super Bowl team that year.
Yep.
So that made it even worse. A team that most people thought at least 10 wins, and we go out there, we win 3. So obviously a lot of injuries had to do with that, but that year it just the whole wheel fell off. I mean, it was it was a complete nightmare.
We lost control of it early, and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
It was just But I'm every year I always say I'm a pessimistic guy, and then yet every year when the Giants get here, I always start when it's always like around May. I always think we're going to be bad, and then as the season gets closer, I'm like, you know what, we're going to be that. Oh, we're going to do that. Oh, look at this, and then I'll go from feel like we're going to be 5-11 to we could be 9-7.
If this happens and that happens,
right,
and this happens,
so I shouldn't say that I'm pessimistic when it comes to the Giants because a lot of times I become very optimistic. And that's why you see me rage so much because I expect better of them.
It really is true what they say about football. It really is a game of inches, and a 6-win team could easily be a 10-win team in the NFL if they get a couple of bounces, and a 10-win team could easily be a 6-win team. There are so many teams in that 6 to 10-win range that some of it's fortuitous bounces, some of it's staying healthy. But if the Giants get some luck and they stay healthy, maybe we have a better season than people think. The football's a funny game.
It is. There's 4 games we should have won. There's 4 games. The last game against Dallas should have won that. The game against the Colts, we should have won that. The game against the Panthers
Eagles
was freaking ridiculous. The 63-yard field goal was ridiculous. And the Eagles, when we were up 19-3. Yes, those 4 games we should have won. We would have been 9-7.
Right.
Should have won those 4 games.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Those other games, I know there's the stat, 8 of the games you lost or not, however many it was, less than a touchdown, but a lot of those were stat padding. We scored late. Like, we scored late against Atlanta to make that closer. We scored late against Dallas to make it close. Not that we were ever in those games.
Oh, the Dallas game was horrible.
The Redskins, we scored late to make that closer. So, but, yeah, the Graham Gano, that was just...
That was a backbreaker.
That was just fitting for that year last year.
Yeah, because that would have been a momentum-shifting win.
It could have been. Yeah, it was the first time since 2015 we'd scored more than 30 points.
Dilly, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, bad in 98, but by 2000 we were in a Super Bowl. That's just how the Giants work. Historically speaking, we'll find a way to be good. Yeah. And yeah, you're right. I mean, everything clicked for that 2000 team. They brought in some really good free agents there for that 2000 team. Kerry Collins. Yeah, had a lot to do with it. He was, drinking, and we got him on a discounted rate, and Collins had a lot to do with that. Collins was an underrated quarterback for the Giants.
Collins was very good for the Giants. Yeah. He was very good. But that's what I'm saying, Carlos. In my lifetime, the Giants would have a couple bad years, and they were good. Like, I can tell you right now, I started watching 84. They were in the playoffs in 84, 85, won it in 86. 87 was a strike-shortened season, so that was BS. We lost every freaking game that the Scabs were in there. 88, we were 10-6, should have made the playoffs, didn't. 89, we were 12-4, lost that heartbreaker to the Rams, which I'll never forget, Flipper Anderson. 1990, won the Super Bowl. 91, 92, missed the playoffs. 93, we were 11-5 with Dan Reeves. 94, we were 9-7. 95, we sucked. 96, we sucked. 97,
Minnesota.
we're back in the playoffs. 98, we sucked. 99, we sucked. 2000, we're in the Super Bowl. 2001, 2002, 2003, not great. 2000, that was actually a pretty. 2002, we made the playoffs.
Yeah, that was the 49er year, right? That was
2003, 2004, we weren't good. 2005, 6, 7, 8 in the playoffs.
That's when we were consistent. Between 5 and 8, we were consistent. That was the most consistent they've been since I've been watching the Giants.
2005 through 2011, we were very consistent.
Yeah.
2010, we were 10-6. Lost that stupid game to the Eagles. Should have had the number 2 seed in the NFC. That game cost us the playoffs.
Yeah. Don't even get me started with that.
2009, we started off 5-0. We had a lot of injuries, and then they just couldn't win down the stretch.
Yeah.
And I think they finished 9-7 that year. So maybe they finished 8, I don't remember. But 2005 2011, 2012.
We were at least we were a 500 team.
Teams at the NFL from 2005 to 2000.
You knew we were going to be a 500 team or better every year going into the season, and it had to do with the stability of Eli Manning and the pass rush and the offensive line and everything else. And we got to get back to that.
Yeah, this is definitely the worst stretch of Giants football I've seen, where we are just really bad for a long period of time.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's been, like you said, we had that one year in 2016, and some of it had to do. We won close games. The defense was very good.
Yes, it was
in the second half, but it had to do with bringing in. We always say it was a Band-Aid. We brought in these veterans to fill in the holes because Jerry Reese couldn't save his life in terms of drafting, and he tried to bail himself out for 1 year, and it worked, and then it went to hell. It made things worse in the end.
It did.
Yeah. It's 10. Yeah, we'll take some questions if you guys have some questions. Like I said, not a ton to talk about. OTAs, we're gonna have 2 more days of OTAs now, and then there's a break. There's gonna be a break till about July, and then we get into the training camp before we head to preseason in August.
Yeah, God, I missed them training in Albany. Oh, I missed them.
Yeah,
I can't believe that's been 7 years. Ever since they left Albany, guys, they suck.
Yeah.
They left here in 2012, and they suck. And you know what's funny? Because Tom Coughlin, they did train down there. I forgot when they built that facility down in New Jersey. They did train down there for a little bit. But Coughlin always still brought them up here for 3 weeks because he wanted them the hell out of the city. He wanted them away from everything.
Right.
Albany's a busy city, but it's not New York.
Right, of course.
It just got them away from things. They trained at a college up here. They trained at SUNY Albany, so it was a quiet. They stayed in dorm rooms.
Yeah.
There wasn't no fancy crap here. It was just a regular Division III college football field that they played on. But I forget. They're Division I basketball. I think
they're D2.
They're D1. I don't know if they're D1 football. I don't think
they're D1 football.
But it was just that football field, and why they moved. It rains a lot here. It rains a lot.
That was the reason, really.
Yeah.
Well, do the Jets still train at Hofstra? I know they used to train at Hofstra. I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But what happened was, because it rained so much up here, and they would have practice and rain out, and they got rid of the two-a-days. So no more two-a-days. So if their practice got rained out, no practice.
Huh.
Tom Coughlin didn't like that. And therefore, that's another reason the
Giants.
Giants.
I remember they had the indoor bubble too, right? And that had something to do with it too, right? Because they didn't have that there, right?
They didn't have it there.
Yeah.
And there was talk about them actually building that here to try to get them back here because it was very good for the city. But nothing. I haven't heard anything about it yet, and I don't know if they'd ever come back here anyway. But, yeah, man, it was fun. But the two-a-day thing, I always felt like once they got rid of the two-a-days, that also hurt the Giants a lot. Because it's like when they were doing two-a-days, they got more time to practice. They had more things. Tom Coughlin got to do more things.
Tom Coughlin got soft at the end. As much as I loved Tom Coughlin, he got a little. Yeah, he got a little soft. I remember they had like a spa day or something like that. Remember that the last day of when he was a coach or something.
He started to get like that in 2007.
Right, with this when he first came in, you had to be 5 minutes early to every meeting. I remember Strahan used to complain about that.
Yeah.
And then he started to change his ways and become more of a soft player.
I just remember the football, not the football life, the America's team, whatever it is, the America's game, the 2007 Giants. He takes them bowling, which that bowlers club isn't around anymore either. Most bowling alleys are gone now. But I remember. Strahan saying, of course, the year I'm gone, he gets really nice and he takes the guys bowling. He said, of course.
Strahan's the best. Strahan's the best. But thank you to everybody for being here.
He's actually not. He was a total dick.
Really?
That guy was
Strahan?
He was the worst. He was the worst guy at training camp.
I would have never thought that.
Miserable son of a bitch. He didn't want to be there. He was miserable. He was miserable. He was a miserable guy.
I never knew that. I would have never figured that.
Miserable person. Maybe he's not now. Maybe I know he hated training. He hated it. Probably didn't want to be there, so that had a lot to do with it. And he was the most popular player in the Giants for a long time, so there's people in his face.
Right.
Yeah, I can kind of get it, Yeah. Shockey was a great dude.
Yeah.
Tiki was a great dude. Hakeem Nicks was a great dude. Amani Toomer, Charles Way, Sehorn was great. Kerry Collins was great. Most of the Giants were really, really fan friendly.
But not Strahan.
No, Strahan didn't want to be there. Strahan was not.
He wasn't. He skipped it the Super Bowl year.
Yep.
Oh,
and he said, go ahead, get that.
Thank you so much for the super chat. Dilly says replace Jenkins with Ramsey. Next year. No, I think you're going to replace Jenkins with the guys we have on the roster. They used a lot of early draft picks to bring those guys in. Beal, they used a third-round supplemental pick. Obviously, DeAndre Baker, Love. I think they have his replacement already on the roster.
Yeah, and we won't have to pay so much money for a corner. Also, Ramsey can be a distraction. He runs his mouth a lot.
Right.
We kind of getting away from those guys. So, yeah, I think we're going to spend money on Zig if we don't draft a right tackle or a center. We'd probably go out and get one of those and a top-notch pass rusher.
Middle linebacker is a possibility, too, if you cut Ogletree.
I think that's where we need to put that money.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah, so. Safety's possible. You know, you figure Bethea could, yeah. So that's possible as well. But no, definitely not a corner. What's going on, Sperm Cell? Thank you for popping back in. We got a question here. What young defensive player excites you the most for the future? Big Blue Flag. Thank you for tuning in, buddy. That is a great question. I tell you, a lot of these young players. I like Lorenzo Carter's upside. I still think he's going to get better. Jabril Peppers, I think, is very talented. Dexter Lawrence, we're talking strict DeAndre Baker. I'm going to go DeAndre Baker. I love DeAndre Baker. I love the pick. I'm going to go DeAndre Baker. I think he excites me the most.
It's funny you say that because I was going to say that.
Yeah.
DeAndre Baker excites me. And, of course, anytime, like I said, we drafted a Bulldog, I go to Uncle Lou. I say, Uncle Lou, what do you think? Man, Uncle Lou, like I said, he said Lorenzo Carter's a 7, could be a 10. He loves DeAndre Baker. I mean, obviously, DeAndre Baker was, in my opinion, he was the best corner of the draft. Yeah. That was my favorite pick of the draft. And again, I told you last year, I'm a big secondary guy. I love the secondary guys. So, yes, DeAndre Baker is definitely probably my favorite guy to look forward to.
Yeah, but there's a lot of good
down guys. All these Eagle fans say, "Ooh, I want DeAndre Baker to lock D Jackson's ass up." I want to see DeAndre Baker shut Deshaun Jackson, just stop him from killing us. That's what I want to see. I want one of our damn corners to stop that son of a bitch. I hate Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson, my most hated athlete of all time. Carlos Rodriguez, thank you so much for the super chat. He says if Ramsey went to the Giants, he'd want to build his brand. It's not going to happen. I know the Giants have cap space, so I guess it's possible. But the Giants have holes in so many other areas. Cornerback is the one area where we don't have holes right now with all the players we've drafted.
Yeah, it's true.
So that to me wouldn't make sense to go out and spend.
Yeah, we already have. I mean, if you don't even count Ballantyne, if you just count Love, DeAndre Baker, and Sam Beal, you already got 3 young corners. 3 rookies.
Right.
Rookies. So, I
could see them signing a veteran, like on a cheap deal, somebody to, something like that.
Yes, not a Ramsey who's
going
to get
not a top tier.
Money.
Yeah. They're hoping that the guys they have on their roster develop into a Ramsey.
Yes. Yep.
At a fraction of the cost. Let's see what we got here. What are we going to do with all these corners? 40 luck. Well, I think we both agree. Janoris Jenkins is probably not going to make it through the year. I think the Giants trade him at some point.
Yeah, they'll trade him. They're going to trade him.
Yeah, as long as he stays healthy. And that's what we're going to do. And then, obviously in the NFL, you need 3 corners a lot of times. You have the nickel sets. There's, the more corners you have, the better.
Depth. I mean,
and you need depth, yeah. So
I don't think they're all going to play, God forbid. I would love them all to play 16 games. But, they tweak a hamstring, they strain a calf, they have some issue where something holds them out. They get a concussion, whatever it is. I mean, we're going to need that depth at corner.
Yeah.
It's good to have depth at corner.
Oh, for sure.
That's a place we've been weak for years, which is why they brought in Janoris Jenkins. We were so weak. I mean, think about it, man. We had freaking J-Ron Hosley, Eli Apple, Trevon Wade. Oh, my God. It was like the freaking Keystone Cop Center. I always used to do my videos. I do my videos back in the day and be like, which way did he go, Jordan? Where did he go? Because this is how they play defense. like the 7-year-old out right field trying to catch the fly ball, Chris. It was terrible. It was a comedy act. It was a comedy of horrors out there. So I'm glad they were building that secondary because our secondary has been the weakest part of this team.
We haven't had a great secondary in a while. And Mike Nixon says, entertain a bad dog since Jenkins is most likely gone next year. And say Sam Beal gets hurt again, could you see us drafting a top corner or first round? No. I think they. I don't.
They got to go lineman.
They got bigger needs at this point. They addressed the corners this year. No,
it's got to be a lineman.
Lineman or edge rusher. Lineman or edge rusher.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. The line.
Yeah.
It's got to be the line. And it depends on where we played. Or where he picked, rather. Afghanistan said, I did love Corey Webster. Yeah, I liked Corey Webster. I told you that story. I know Afghanistan. Afghanistan's a man. He's like in every stream. So I know Afghanistan knows that story about how I ruined, how Corey Webster ruined his career because he wouldn't take a picture with Baddog. Now, Corey Webster should pop in here one time. I'll give him a piece of my mind.
MH asked us, do you think that Daniel Jones could make Sterling Shepard a great wide receiver?
A great cannoli wide receiver.
A great cannoli. Yeah, you got to throw in the cannoli.
Jones ain't Italian, so no. Wouldn't know anything about a cannoli.
Do I think
Vinny Testaverde? He could have done it.
Yeah.
He could have made a great cannoli wide receiver.
Do I think Daniel? I think Sterling Shepard can make Sterling Shepard a great wide receiver. I don't think it has. Sterling Shepard's got the tools. He's got to hold on to the football. He's had a lot of drops. Yeah. But I think Sterling Shepard could easily be an 1,100, 1,200 yard wide receiver in this league.
He definitely has the talent. I mean, I say it all the time. I saw him in Oklahoma. I loved it when they picked him. I was super excited that they picked him because we needed a wide receiver in that draft. I was thrilled. I said they stole that kid. He's a mid-first round, the early 20s, pick. And he has so much talent. He can play inside, outside. But, yeah, he had a great rookie year. And then last year he just fell off. And I don't know, he had a really good rookie. He killed the Eagles. Like, he has big games against the Eagles.
Right.
But I don't know if it was distractions. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had a child last year. I don't know if his mind was on that. I don't know what was going through his head. I really don't know. I think Beckham was – I mean, people just think I hate Beckham. They just think I hate on him all the time. But I think Beckham was a bad influence. I know when they went on that boat trip, I was like, I don't want –
Victor Cruz, man. Victor
Cruz was the whole culprit.
Yeah, what is he doing? What is he doing?
He should have said, no, guys, we have work to do. We worked hard all year to get here. Now we got to work harder to get the ultimate goal. And he won a Super Bowl, so he knows.
Right.
He said, we have plenty of time to party when the season's over.
Yeah, let's win a Super Bowl. And then we worry about the boat trips. But I think Shepard could be really good. It
started downhill for him. He had flashes. Sterling Shepard has, which I hate to compare him to Ruben Randle. Ruben Randle was that guy that had – now, Sterling Shepard is way more talented than Ruben Randle, but Ruben Randle would have a couple games where he just would show the flash of 160 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Right.
And that's Sterling Shepard in 2017. That was him. He had like 4 huge games. You're like, he's coming around, and then he kind of fall back. And again, he was playing second fiddle to Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
He's going to have a good veteran presence in Golden Tate, a consummate professional, guy that knows how to win. And again, all those distractions are gone. I think Sterling Shepard could have a good year.
I think the Giants are going to spread the ball around this year. I really do. I could see a bunch of guys being between 700 and 1,000 yards. Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, Saquon Barkley. I think a lot of guys could. I think they're going to spread it around. I don't think you're going to have a receiver that catches for like 12 or 1,300 yards. I think they're going to spread the ball around. Yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah. And a lot of people also think I hate on Eli Manning all the time because I'm ready to move on from Eli. And I am. I am ready to move on from Eli. But I'm telling you, Giants fans, right now, I want Eli to come out and kick ass.
Of course.
I want Eli to throw for 4,000.
What would be sweeter? What would be sweeter than to see Eli Manning go out on top?
I want him to prove everybody wrong. I want him to prove me wrong. I want him to prove everybody wrong that he still does have it.
Right.
The coaches are going to – Pat Shurmur's not going to come out and go, well, Eli looks like garbage.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Oh, his arm strength is nothing, and he can't throw anymore. He's not going to say – even if he couldn't, he's not going to say it. So prove the critics wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove everyone else that says that he's done. And I want him. I want him to go out with even if they don't win, they're not going to win a Super Bowl, but go out on a huge note. And Eli has no plans to retire. And so, hey, you want to get another contract from another team? Although I think he should retire. I don't think he should sign.
No, I think he's done after. I really do think this is. And I see Dominic. He's posted this a few times. This is a good question. He says, "Do you think Julian Love can transition to safety and replace Bethea in the future?" And that's a really good question because when they drafted Julian Love, they said he was a jack of all trades type player, that he could play both the corner and safety position, and that may very well be the plan next year. They could cut Bethea because he carries no dead cap at next year. That's actually a good point. That could be the plan. This year I think he's going to be that nickel corner, but it's possible. That's definitely possible. I remember them saying that when they drafted him.
It is possible. If Julian Love struggles at nickel corner, then they probably would look at moving him to safety. If he balls out a nickel corner, then there's no reason to move him to safety. You don't want to take him away from his strength. I know Jason Sehorn started out as a safety and moved to corner.
Right.
And Jason Sehorn was an incredible corner before he tore his ACL against the Jets in the pregame in the preseason '98. But yeah, I mean, if Julian Love can do it, I mean, if he struggles at nickel corner, if he struggles at the corner position, then you do move him to safety because they don't have to cover like a corner does. So, but if he's very valuable at his position, there's no reason to move him. I think then you go look for a safety, but it's good to have that option either way.
I completely agree. Alex Day says, I want Eli Manning to mentor Daniel Jones. Yeah, I could see. I don't think it'll be for more than a year, though. Can Daniel Jones, what does that say? Starting lineup next season? Oh, Daniel Jones is a starting quarterback next year. I'm not talking this upcoming year. The following year, he's a starting quarterback day one.
2020, absolutely.
Yeah, you cannot waste. If you're talking about this year, he will not be the opening day starter. But the following year, he's the starter. You're not going to waste 40% of a rookie contract on a quarterback.
Entertain a Baddog. Name your favorite Giants defender over the Lawrence Taylor for me. Lawrence Taylor's.
And I'll say Michael Strahan because
Lawrence Taylor was.
Yeah, I didn't get to see LT in his prime.
Ridiculous, man.
Barbowski says, "What game are you guys looking forward to most and why?" For me, the first game, Cowboys need to take an L right away. Okay, Barbowski, that's a good one. Go ahead.
Game I'm looking forward to the most is Jets Giants because I'm going there and I'm going to meet the entertainer.
There you go.
That's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
That's right. And I'm gonna give another one, but he's absolutely right. That's the game I'm looking forward to. But I'll say the Patriots game week 6 because I think it's gonna be the last time Eli plays Brady. And I think that'll be, even though we'll probably lose, it's in New England, but it'll be a good storyline. And it's a game that you play once every 4 years, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and that's on Thursday night, I believe. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are a couple good games for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. How great? I mean, you may see Daniel Jones against Sam Darnold too. I mean, depending on how bad we are.
Oh, we definitely could. That's late in the season.
Can play there, and then you're looking at the 2 future quarterbacks in New York.
Barkley versus Bell, the running back debate too. Jets fan, you hear Jets fans now running their mouth. We got the best running back in New York. We'll see about that. We'll see about that.
Stop.
And cannot pull up. What's going on, Mickey? Thank you for tuning in the stream. Anybody that is new, by the way, like to shout this out whenever I can. Hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell, go into the description, and sub up my man, Mr. Baddog 7676. We do the show every week, and it'll be on his channel next week. Clark says a lockdown corner in Ramsey. We never had one. We need to sign him for the right price. But the thing is, Ramsey's going to get paid top dollar, and you just invested all these draft picks in cornerbacks. So I don't see it. Season Modus, thank you so much for the super chat. He says you should be looking forward to the Giants and Dolphins. Good question.
Yeah, I am, because that's a win for us.
To me, that is the most winnable game on this year's schedule. I think it's that one and the Cardinals, when the Cardinals travel across the country to New Jersey. I think those are 2 most winnable games.
Yeah, but I was going to just say the Clocks. We've never had a lockdown corner. Sehorn was a lockdown corner.
Before the
but I think DeAndre Baker can be a lockdown corner. I think he's that good. He was a lockdown corner at UGA. I mean, I don't think I forgot what it was. He didn't give up a receiving touchdown, or he didn't give up 100 yards to an opposing player last year. It was one or the other. I don't remember which one it was. But he did, one of those things happened where he didn't give up a receiving touchdown, or he didn't.
Oh, you talking about Baker? He didn't. Yes. He didn't give up a receiving touchdown for 2 years.
That's what it was. 2 years.
Yeah. And Bigger Mike asked, how much of an impact do you think Daniel Jones will have on the Giants' future success? All-Pro, future Hall of Fame, multiple Super Bowl, stuff like that. That's impossible to say because quarterbacks, it's a lottery. It's a crapshoot. There are so many great Ryan Leaf. I mean, there's so many guys that you think are going to be great, and there's so many guys you think are going to be bad. Tom Brady. And, so quarterback's a crapshoot, and I think a lot of it has to do with the surrounding parts. If the Giants set him up for success, he could be successful, just like Eli was. They set Eli up for success, and he was successful.
Yep. I could not agree with you more. It's going to depend on the pieces around Daniel Jones. It doesn't matter how great you are. If you can't, well, look at Archie Manning. I mean, Archie Manning was he had nothing in New Orleans. He got his ass kicked. I mean, if you don't have the pieces around you to win, I don't care how good of a quarterback you are, you're not going to.
Look at Aaron Rodgers last year. He's the best quarterback on the planet. They couldn't win because they had nothing around him.
Yeah, it's rare that you'll find a guy that, Russell Wilson's the only guy I can think of really don't have a lot around him that still succeeds.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I mean, It is. That's just It's so far out to say Daniel Jones doesn't play a snap in the NFL, and how's he gonna do in his career? We hope he wins multiple Super
Of
Bowls.
course, yeah.
We hope that's what happens. All Pro, multiple Super Bowls, Hall of Fame. Hell yeah, breaking every one of Eli's records. Let's do it. Except for that.
We got Josh.
Except for that interception record, we don't want that.
We got Josh from the Sports Fury in the chat. If you've not done so, go on over to that channel. Check them out. And I'm glad that they got everything up and running. I know that they got taken down last night with the whatever that was. But he says, "What game do you dread the most this season, other than the Bears?" Well, you know what, Josh? Bad Dog and myself both agree. I think we're gonna double. We're gonna double moonwalk your ass a second year in a row.
I agree.
But
the only team in the NFC East the Bears are beating are the Redskins. They're losing to the Cowboys and Eagles as well, and I hate those teams. The Bears stink.
But what's going on, Kendra? Thank you for tuning into the stream.
I love you, buddy. I do.
But I gotta say the game. I mean, in terms of winning and I think the Patriots game's the toughest game in New England. I mean, that's probably the toughest game on the schedule. Eagles are gonna be tough.
I dread them every time we play them.
Yeah, Eagles are gonna be tough. Yeah.
I hate them. I hate that team. God, I hate that I hate that freaking team with a passion. I hate the Eagles.
Oh, God. And Jerome Coleman says, I'm going to my first New York Giants versus Miami Dolphins game. Well, you're picking the right game. Because if there's a game on the schedule the Giants should win, it's that one. At home against Miami, I think they should win that game. Bears still have the best line. Yeah, they absolutely do, Chulo Chad. The Bears have the best linebacking core in the NFL. I would never debate that. And the Bears still have a very good team. But they're beatable. I'm just going to say that.
I said it last year, and I'll say it again. Their linebacking core reminds me a lot of the '86 Giants linebacking core. They don't have Lawrence Taylor, obviously, but Khalil Mack's pretty damn good. He's probably the best linebacker in the league, in my opinion. And then you got Trevathan, and you got Leonard Floyd. They are really good. I mean, it's Banks, Taylor, Carson, Reasons, Pepper Johnson.
They're
they remind me a lot of the '86 Giants.
Yeah.
I can never remember their one guy in the line that's really good. Who the hell? Akeem Hicks? So he reminds me of Leonard Marshall. So they got that one big pass rushing line, and they got the great linebacker. That defense reminded me a lot of the +86 Giants last year.
Yeah, the question is...
you still can't beat the Giants because you can't stop number 26.
USA, wow, 13-0 they won today. Wow. Hey, what's up? Well, thank you to everybody for tuning in. Please shout out those questions. Appreciate everybody for being here. Hit that thumbs up. Join the channel. Ring the bell. Go in the description. Sub up Mr. Bad Dog. Mike Nixon says, Entertainer Bad Dog, can you give me 3 Giants that will surprise and make a big impact this year, and 3 Giants that will be a disappointment? Well, hopefully none of them are disappointments. But, I mean, I'm very high on Marcus Golden. That's one guy. If he stays healthy, he's a guy I'm high on. Let me think here. Let me think. I think Ingram could have a really big year. I don't know if that would be a surprise to some Giants fans, but I think he could have a career year. And I'll go. Let's see who else. Trying to think. You know what? I think Janoris Jenkins could have a really good year actually. And in a contract year, he's motivated. I could see Jenkins playing really well this year. So there's 3 guys that I think could do better than some people may think.
I'm going to say Darius Slayton's going to surprise people because nobody's predicting this kid to do anything. When you pick him at the end of the 5th round, nobody's going to pick him to do a damn thing. I think that he and Corey Coleman could have big years. Without a doubt. I think they definitely could. I think they can make an impact on the outside because, again, Shepard and Tate are more slot guys. So depending on the wide receiver packages they run, those are guys that could have big – I'm not saying that Slayton's going to have a huge season, but he could definitely ball out in some games. Right. Because he's probably, they're not going to do 4 wide receiver sets, but if somebody's hurt and Slayton has to play, I think Slayton's going to have big games by the end of the year. I think that's a guy that really could surprise a lot of people. I think Wayne Gallman is another guy that people are going to overlook because we have Saquon Barkley, but Wayne Gallman's going to have to spell him
with that better offensive line. Yeah.
And Wayne Gallman can run.
That's a good call.
When it comes in, Wayne Gallman can receive. Wayne Gallman can do a lot of things Barkley can do. I mean, he doesn't do them as well, but he can do a lot of the same things. And another thing that Wayne Gallman, people don't know or don't think about him, he's a very strong back. He pushes the pile forward. He was their goal line guy before Barkley got there.
Now, do you think Rod Smith will be used in those goal line situations this year? Because that's essentially what he is.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah,
Probably.
kind of
But
like that Brandon Jacobs.
I don't think they're going to use Rod Smith much at all.
You think it'll be gone? What about Perkins?
Perkins? I don't even think Perkins will see the field.
Yeah. You think it's Gallman and Barrett?
You know, it's sad because when they got him out of UCLA, I really liked him, and I remember 2016. I remember telling my wife's uncle, I said to him because he was talking about how the Redskins are going to sweep the Giants. I'll never forget this. It was Christmas Eve. He's got the broom out. We're going to sweep the Giants. I said, you're going to lose, and I don't even know if I said that. I said you're going to eat your words, and I go, I bet you Paul Perkins runs for over 100 yards, and he's like, you're out of your mind. I bet you. I said Paul Perkins is going to get 100 yards against you, and he got 102 yards on 21 carries. So he did, and I thought Paul Perkins was going to be really good for the Giants, and then he just wasn't.
We got hurt. You know, same thing with David Wilson too. Unfortunately, that was a horrible injury.
Yeah, that was. I'll tell you, Chris, I'm not comparing him to Saquon Barkley, okay, but. When I saw David Wilson at training camp in 2012, I say this all the time, that guy moved at a different speed.
Oh, he was fast.
I was so high on David Wilson. I said, oh, my God, this kid is just other level. He's otherworldly. And then he didn't do much his rookie year, but then he had that game against New Orleans where he had almost 500 yards of total off, with the kick return.
Yeah.
Funny. He ran for, he had a receiver. I think he had a rushing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and a kick return touchdown. He killed New Orleans in that game. And I was like, he's taking the next step. And then 2017, listen to me. What was it, 2014? First game against Dallas when he became the starter. Fumbled twice.
Yeah, and that was it. They took him off. Yeah, I remember that. Good point. Good point.
That was it. Never recovered from that. Got in his head, and then the poor guy had the neck issue, and that was the end of him.
Yeah, no O-line's part. Good point there, Marlon. I mean, that's all running back since 2013. David Wilson injury set us back in the run game for 5 years. Yeah, and the offensive line, of course, real New York Giants mafia.
Yeah.
Andre Williams, another guy. He was a successful college running back, but never amounted to much at the pro level.
Yeah, I met Andre Williams. He was a good guy, Andre Williams.
Yeah. Bigger Mike says, who are your guys' sleeper teams for the playoffs? All right, we'll go NFC and AFC. I'll let you go first. Give me your NFC and AFC team that most people are not picking to make the playoffs that you think will or could.
Carolina.
Okay, that's a good one.
I think even with Cam Newton's going to play this year, so I think Carolina improved their offensive line a lot. Christian McCaffrey's very underrated running back. Christian McCaffrey's a very underrated. I think Carolina can make a comeback this year, and AFC. The Raiders?
That's an interesting one. They had a loud offseason, that's for sure. They brought in a lot of talent there.
I think the Raiders.
Tough division, though.
If Derek Carr can stay healthy, they're in a tough division.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if I'm going to pick a sleeper, I'm not going to go with a team that, they're halfway decent. A sleeper is a team that...
Yeah. See, I'm going to give you a couple teams. I've been very high on the Packers. I've been saying that for months. Now, I think a lot of people starting to get on that Packer train, but 2 months ago, people were laughing at me. I'm picking the Packers to win the NFC North. So that's my sleeper in the NFC. In the AFC, I like the Bills. They could potentially sneak into the playoffs. I like what they did in the offseason. They already had a great defense to begin with. They improved the offensive line. They got a couple more wide receivers there for their young quarterback. And there was another team I was just thinking. The Jaguars, I think, could have a bounce back here. And the Steelers. I think people are sleeping on the Steelers because of the pieces they lost, but they still have the foundation. They still have one of the best offensive lines in football. We saw Connor was successful last year in Bell's absence. I still think the Steelers could be a competitive football team. So those are some of the teams I'll say.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The problem with the Steelers, again, they play in a tough division.
Right. Oh, yeah, that division's very Ravens, Browns are going to be improved. Yeah.
They play in a tough division. But, I mean, those are, a lot of people like the Broncos.
I don't. That division's way too tough.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco, I don't like it. I just don't. I mean, Philip Lindsay should have another good year.
Chris said the Packers stick a cannoli in it.
Oh, did he ask a team that's going to disappoint? The Bears.
All right, disappoint. Okay. I'm gonna agree with you. I know I love Josh. I know he's a big Bears fan. I'm gonna pick the Bears in the NFC. I'm gonna agree with you on that. I'm gonna pick the Bears.
I know.
Yeah.
I was in their stream one day, And I told him, I said, I'm sorry, man. The Bears are going to take a giant step back. And he goes, what the hell is with you and the entertainers saying that they're going to take it back? I said, I don't know. We agree on that. I just think they're going to have a really tough schedule. They got a first place schedule. The Packers are going to be a lot better this year. And, they lost some pieces. They didn't have a pick till the third round. Their defense is great. I still don't trust that offense. I'm sorry. Trubisky's got to show me he can stay healthy, and he's got to show me he can be consistent. He shows me that, and you guys are going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not going to be shocked at all if the Bears win that division, but I don't know. I think that I could see them going 8-8 this year, 9-7. I could see them taking a step back. We'll see, though. We'll see.
With that, I think Josh left the building. He said, yeah, the hell with these two Italians. Damn Giants fans, what the hell do they know?
Dan F says, my phone is at 5%. Say hi before I go, please. Dan F, thank you for tuning into the stream. Anybody that has not done so, go to the link in the description. Sub up Mr. Baddog 7676. And please sub me up. That'd be nice. And Sports Fairs in here, too. Check out their channel.
Hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. We got 63. It takes 2 seconds.
Hit the thumbs up. Let's get that up to 100. Let's get that up to 200. How many years till the Giants make a serious Super Bowl run? I think they could next year. I'll be conservative though and say 2 or 3 years, much like the Eli process. The rookie year, 05 obviously became a playoff team. 06 by 07 we won a Super Bowl. I could see something similar. We'll see.
2020.
I love it. 2020.
Daniel Jones in his rookie season.
Second season.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, starting.
First year as a starter.
Yes. Taking them all the way.
I love it.
Ben Roethlisberger did it in the second season.
I love it. Top 3 Giants running backs of all time. I'm assuming that's what you mean by that. Tiki Barber's still got to be 1. He holds all the records. Is it too early to say Barkley's 2?
Frank Gifford. Frank Gifford's got to be number 2.
Yeah. And you can't put Barkley 3, can you? He's only been playing. I mean, you put Hampton above him.
Hampton or Jacobs.
Yeah. But Barkley's going to pass all of them, let's be real.
Barkley is going to pass them all.
Yeah.
Even Barkley's the most talented player. And he's more talented than Beckham. Barkley's the most talented player. I shouldn't say that. Offensively, yes. Not more talented than LT's different. LT's not.
LT changed the game.
LT was LT.
Yeah.
Anybody my age or older, you know what I'm talking about. Anybody that's younger, all I could say is just type in Lawrence Taylor highlights on YouTube and you'll understand what I'm talking about.
He changed the game.
It's ridiculous.
Giants Hub says Barkley going to be the best running back of all time. But I can't put him that high yet because he's only been playing for 1 year. I can't put him above a Tiki Barber, a guy who had over 10,000 yards rushing. But yeah, in terms of a talent,
he's going to be the best.
Yeah, in terms of a talent, he's the best.
But he's not right now.
Yeah,
he can't be. Yeah, Tiki Barber. Actually, I was on a video earlier today, and I am going to do a video on this myself because somebody did a comparison between Saquon and Zeke, and it was an Eagles fan, and he said Barkley was better, and I agreed. And then Cowboys fans got a big tissy, and there's like 50 comments on that thread. And I told one of the Cowboys fans, and I know this will piss Cowboy fans up, and it does it every time I say it. And other people say, "What, are you out of your mind?" Tiki Barber is better than Emmitt Smith. I say that all the time. "Oh, you're out of your mind." Tiki Barber averaged a half yard to carry more than Emmitt Smith every single season in Tiki Barber's career that he started 10 or more games. He rushed for 1,000 yards. People forget he was not a starter the first 3 years of his career. He had over 10,000 yards in 10 seasons. He ran for 1,860 yards one year. Emmitt Smith never ran for that much in any season in his career.
And Emmitt Smith had the greatest supporting cast of all time.
Okay, right, exactly. And Tiki Barber's last year ran for 1,662 yards. Okay, Tiki Barber had 2,500 yards from scrimmage 1 year. And again, he had over 10,000 yards, and he started 7 seasons, okay? He started 7 seasons. He averaged almost 5 yards a carry. Not to mention he had over 5,500 yards receiving. People don't want to believe Tiki Barber was great because he used an ass with his mouth.
And the fumbles, right? People always think about the fumbles.
He did fumble a lot, but he fixed it.
Right.
He fixed
it. Coughlin, the guy that he ragged on. Yeah, the guy that he ragged on after he left.
Yeah.
No, Tiki Barber was a great running back. Emmitt Smith obviously great too. But I could see the argument. I don't know if I would say that, but I could definitely see the argument. Emmitt Smith had the greatest. That is a perfect example of why offensive lines are so valuable. Look at that Cowboys team. Troy Aikman was overrated too. He had the greatest offensive line of all time, and that made his job so much easier.
And I couldn't agree with Clocks more. I say the same thing. He's the most overrated running back ever.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the most overrated offensive players ever. And again, the younger Cowboy generation. Oh, you didn't watch him play.
Right.
Yeah, I watched the guy play. He was great for like 4 years. He was great, but he was slow. He was small. Well, he wasn't small. 5'9", 200. He was short. He wasn't small.
Short, yeah. Much like Barry Sanders, short. Both of them were short.
But he had no speed. He had no change of direction. He was a crappy receiver. And he benefited not only from a great offensive line, but a freaking fullback that was a guard in the damn backfield in Moose Johnston.
Right.
Trust me when I tell you. If you watched Tiki Barber play and you watched Emmitt Smith play and you actually watched them both play, you would know Tiki Barber was the better running back.
I agree with you. I mean, I can't say that because I think Emmitt's the leading rusher of all time, so it's really tough to say that. But in terms of a talent, you could certainly make that argument that Tiki Barber.
Emmitt Smith had, I think, 8,000 more yards rushing, a little less than 8,000 more rushing yards than Tiki Barber, and he had, I think, 2,300 more carries.
Right.
So you do that math. That's
3.7. Yeah.
Not even. It's like 3.4, 3.3. It's not good.
Right.
It's not good. And I think Tiki Barber had more receiving yards than Emmitt Smith in like 8 less seasons.
Yeah.
So.
Real New York Giants fan says, who was a better first-round pick at wide receiver, OBJ or Hakeem Nicks? Well, OBJ's obviously was more talented. Nicks was great, by the way. You remember Nicks with the 5X gloves? He had the huge hands.
I shook his hand. I swear to God, I have got big hands.
Right.
The guy's hand was down here.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
But
his hands were freaking huge.
Yeah. But I mean, Nicks was obviously one of the most important players on that 2011 Super Bowl team. Nicks was a more successful Giant. I mean, they won when he was on the team. They won a Super Bowl. Beckham's the better player.
Also, look at where they drafted Nicks.
Yeah, that's a good question. Because
Hakeem Nicks was drafted near the end of the first round in 2009 because we had just come off the 2008 season where we should have repeated as champions if Burris don't shoot himself in the leg. But yeah, and Beckham was picked 13th overall.
Yeah, and of course the Hail Mary, you just said it, the real New York Giants Mafia, the Hail Mary he caught against the Packers, one of the, that was a back, but just like Rodgers, he returned the favor in 2016, that was a backbreaker for the Packers in that game when Eli heaved that ball up to Nicks in the left corner of the end zone.
He had the big catch against the Falcons where he took that slant 75 yards and put him up. He had a big first 2 games. Then in San Francisco, Victor Cruz had the 10 catches.
First half, Cruz tore him up. Yeah,
he killed him. Oh God, who the hell was their corner? He shut him to Carlos Rogers, I think. Shut Victor Cruz down the first time they played, and then Victor Cruz said, "I'm going to show him something," and he had 10 catches, much like Plaxico Burress had the 10 catches against.
Al Harris. And I still say to this day, that is the best performance I've ever seen a wide receiver have. When you factor in the conditions of that game, what he was able to do against one of the best corners in football, in the elements like that, he was unbelievable that game. It was incredible that game what Burris did for the Giants.
Yeah, Burris was big for the Giants. That's why it's too bad that he did what he did. We were repeating. I don't give a damn what anybody says. That 2018 is the best Giants team I've ever seen. They were top 5 in both offense and defense. I don't know if they've ever had that at any time.
Yeah.
Any other time in their history, unless you go back to maybe the 30s and 40s. I don't know. I mean, in my lifetime, it didn't happen. 86, their offense is very mediocre. Very mediocre. And in 1990, their offense is very mediocre.
No, that was an unbelievable team.
They had 2,000-yard rushers that year.
Yeah, the offensive line was just
They averaged
absurd.
5 yards a carry as a team. That's stupid. They averaged over 5 yards a carry as a team. They averaged 160 yards a game on the ground.
And that's without having a mobile quarterback. That's without having a mobile quarterback. A lot of times the mobile quarterback will help that average, right? That's without,
mobility there.
Yeah.
They put up over 200 yards rushing against the Ravens. They put up over 300 yards rushing against the Panthers that year.
We got to get back to that. We got to get back to those days, Bad Dog.
That team is very good. Yes, we do.
Yeah. And I think that's what we're trying to do here.
Burris, yes, but who else? Steve Smith.
Right.
Monty Toomer was gone. So Steve Smith, Plaxico Burress, Dominic Hickson.
Yeah. That was a team that grounded and pounded.
Right.
Grounded and pounded.
That's what the Giants are.
And obviously the NASCAR package with all the pass rushers and
That's why we don't need Odell Beckham. We need what we had in 2007, 2008.
That's winning football. Period.
was.
You know, it might be boring, but that's winning football.
Yeah. 1990, that's what it was. 1986, that's what it was.
Yeah.
They ran the ball, and they played defense.
Dribbling and bibbling. That's right, MH.
Dribbling and bibbling was fantastic. I had to make sure I heard it correctly last
Dribbling, bibbling. Mike Nixon says Mario Manningham. Mario Manningham was a good pick. I think he was a third-round pick by the Giants, and I think he fell, if I remember correctly, because he had some issue in college. I can't remember what it was. But he was supposed to be an earlier pick, and that's why.
Was it that, or was his Wonderlic score like?
Maybe that's what it was. There was something. I remember.
I think it was his Wonderlic score was like a 6. It was. You
know what? But he knew how to catch a ball on the sideline in the Super Bowl.
No, that he had to catch that.
That was a beautiful throw. Beautiful.
That was bad. You want to talk about the best throw ever in a Super Bowl? There's one of them.
Better throw. There's the throw.
Throw better.
But thank you so much, Cox, for the super chat. Dilly Dilly, he says, imagine Barry Sanders behind. I know where you're going there.
Time, Clocks. Clocks is my age. I can tell, but because I say that same thing.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley and Barry Sanders. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but Saquon Barkley has the potential to be the greatest running back ever. That's how good this guy could potentially be.
He's got the tools.
I mean, he has the agility and the speed of a Barry Sanders, and he's got the
faster
power.
Than Barry by a mile.
Yeah,
Barry didn't have home run hitting speed.
Yeah, he was
just very shifty in the open field.
Yeah.
I told you this in the middle of last year. I don't want to compare him either because it's his rookie season. I have not seen a guy like Barry Sanders until Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley is a combination. He's a combination of Barry Sanders and Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is. That is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But he catches better than both of them.
Right. The upside with this guy is ridiculous.
He is absolutely. You know, it's funny. I can remember Nitro Freak making a video before the draft, and he was. I mean, it didn't make any sense, but he was like the Eagles. He's like the Eagles got to trade up against Saquon Barkley. He was just saying this because he's like he was the one guy that was just adamant about it. That guy can't go to the Giants. Don't let him on the Giants. Don't put him on the Giants. We got to do anything we can. He can't go to the Giants. I mean, he did that's all he said for 7 minutes.
Right.
Don't let that guy go to the Giants.
Right.
Don't let him go to the Giants. And he was right. He's exciting, man.
Oh, he could win a game by himself. I mean, he did it.
He made that 5-11 season. We wanted to tune every week just to see what he did.
And the reason that we were this close to being like you said, an 8-8 or a 9-7 team was because of him. He kept us in those games by himself. Even that Eagle game where we got blown out, he had an unbelievable game. You know, remember?
He almost had 100 yards receiving and 100 yards. He had 99 yards receiving and 130 yards on the ground. He had 130 yards on the ground and 13 carries. He had 229 yards of offense. And then in the next game, he had over 100 yards in the first half, and then we didn't play him.
Right.
Let's not run him again.
Pat. Oh, stale Pat. What's going on, Richard Cranium? Thank you for tuning the stream.
Yeah, that prompted the video. I'd like to. That prompted the video. I want to spit in Pat Shurmur's face.
Bigger Mike said, and that was funny. Yeah, Bigger Mike says, which players do you think will disappoint? He said, surprising this point. I guess he's talking broad NFL. He said, Kerryon Johnson thinks will surprise. Juju Smith will disappoint. I actually disagree. I'm not a huge fantasy football guy, but I'm going to get big into it this year. Juju Smith, to me, could easily be the number one fantasy wide receiver this year, in my opinion, because that Steelers offense historically really focuses on the number one wide receiver. Historically, and I can see Juju Smith getting a lot of targets. I think Juju Smith-Schuster could have a huge year, actually.
I'm trying to think of a guy that'll open eyes. Kerryon Johnson fumbles a lot. He fumbles a lot at Auburn. That was a big drawback for him. He was a fumbler. I'm trying to think. That's a tough question. When you're talking the entire NFL.
Yeah. A lot of times it'll be a second-year player, a guy that didn't get a lot of burn his first year, but I'd have to think about it.
You know
I think could have a huge breakout year. He's already very good. Myles Garrett. I could see him having a gigantic year for the Browns. I like Myles Garrett to have. I think he could lead the league in sacks.
Who is the running back for the freaking? I can't think of his name. The running back for the 49ers.
Oh, Breida.
Matt Breida is a guy I think could have a really, really good season. I
Yeah.
think Matt Breida could have a really good season with Jimmy Garoppolo coming back and the pass game being better. As far as disappointing goes, God, that's just tough, man.
Have a good night, Dire Giants fan. Thank you for tuning in, buddy.
Sam Darnold. No, I'm just kidding. I just had to do that. I'm just kidding. God.
Oh, Carlos, thank you so much.
Go ahead. You can get that.
Oh, Dilly, thank you so much. He says, where does OBJ's one-hand catch rank in Giant history? I mean, it's definitely arguably the second greatest play in Giant history in terms of, what he did. The helmet catch has to be one.
Yeah.
But they lost the game.
They lost the game.
So it can't be in the top 5, 10 moments.
Great catch, but at the end of the day, it's just a catch. And you know what? You're seeing this a lot more now. It's becoming more common. When he did it, it was ridiculous. It's still ridiculous, but
they lost the game. I can't put it.
I don't think Dire Giants fan was leaving. I'm looking at that. He says, "Have a good night, Bobby."
You're saying "Have a good night, Bobby." Okay, Tamil, what's going on? Yeah, Tyree has to be number one. In my opinion, I don't go back as far as Baddog goes, but Tyree's got to be number one for me.
There's not many catches from way back in the '80s. Nobody really made catches. They were a running team.
Manningham catch. Yeah, that's got to be up there.
Is it? I can't remember if it was Toomer in 2007
against the Cowboys.
No, against the Packers when he laid out full body extension and tapped his toes in bounds.
I think that was Toomer.
That was one of the most ridiculous catches ever. He was full extension.
Right.
Well, just laid out parallel to the ground, and he tapped his toes down before anything else went out of bounds.
I got a great play. Jason Seon against the Vikings. Remember the interception? Or was that
against the
Eagles, rather. Yeah, the interception where he taps it up in the air.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
That was a great play. Yeah, that's top 10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Most disappointing, but to get back to the initial question, the most disappointing or guy's going to disappoint, Todd Gurley, I think, is going to disappoint this year.
Really?
Todd Gurley's got arthritis in his knees.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
And I just think that's tough for running back. I mean, he's going to take a step back, I think.
Yeah. In terms of importance, Tyree, in terms of wow factor, OBJ. Yeah, I mean, if you want to just talk from a pure athleticism standpoint and you're not factoring in the moment and what it meant, you could certainly argue that OBJ was the best play. You could definitely argue that. Let's see. Anthony Manzano says, Chris, can you please read my comment from I cannot. Just type it again. I don't have the chat in front of me, but if you type it again, I'll be sure to read it. The Toomer TD to beat the undefeated Broncos. Oh, was that Toomer?
Wasn't a great catch, but it was
a great moment.
Great moment.
Yeah. I remember watching that game with my grandfather, actually. I think they were, 14? Were they 14-0 in that
13
game?
13-0.
13-0, yeah. I remember watching that game.
The Giants were 6-10.
Yeah.
But we beat them.
Yes, we did. Devontae Freeman will be a top 3. That was another team I meant to mention, by the way, 40 Luck. The Falcons are another team, I think. I don't even know if people would be surprised, but a team I think could bounce back this year with all the injuries they had on defense. I could see the Falcons bouncing back. Brandon Rogers, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Bad Dog and Chris, stand up, Bad Dog. I'm not late. Thank you, Brandon Rogers. I appreciate that. Manningham in the Super. Yeah, we said that. Manningham. That's as much Eli as Manningham. But
more Eli than Manningham.
More Eli than Manningham. But yeah, another great moment. I have Strahan, the sack record. That's a great moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about Lawrence Tynes kicking us to the Super Bowl in the frozen tundra?
He missed like 4 of them.
He did.
Then Tom Coughlin brings him out there to kick a 47-yard. I go, what in the hell are you doing right now? And then, of course, it starts right, and I'm like, yeah, I missed it again. Then it just hooks over to the left, and I'm like, oh, my God, he made it. We're going to the Super Bowl. It was really great.
Oh, that was amazing. The not great one, 99-yard touchdown catch by Cruz against the Jets. One of the most important plays in that Super Bowl run. Great call on that.
That we were going to lose that game. We were 3rd and 10 on our own 1, and the Jets were up 3-0. They were going to get the ball in midfield about 2 minutes to go and a half, and Victor Cruz turned that. I remember when he caught it. I was going good. At least he got a first down. Then next thing I know, he's going, and there I am running alongside him on the TV. Run, son of a bitch! Run!
Yeah, that was a great moment. Molly Mo says, you guys think Julio Jones is tired of playing with Matt Ryan? No. Matt Ryan's, statistically, he had a great year last year. No, I wouldn't say he's tired. Would you think he's tired? I don't think he's tired. There's a lot worse quarterbacks you could play with than Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I don't think he started Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan puts up good numbers every year.
David Terry. Let's see. The Ahmad Bradshaw run in Buffalo week 6. Yeah, that was another good one. Real New York Giants Mafia. Good call there.
We got down 14-0 in that game early, and then they came back and blew them out.
So
then Ahmad Bradshaw came out right there.
I was so mad when Bradshaw. I even said it. Well, I said once he got the 1 yard, I said if they're going to let him score. We knew they were going to let him score in that Super Bowl. And Bradshaw, you even saw it. He forgot. He got to the goal line. He's like, "Oh no!" and he fell into the end zone. I remember watching that, just being like, "Oh my god!" Because you didn't want to give Brady
too much time.
Yeah.
And then again, they had like a 4th and 16, and they converted it. I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me!"
Right.
So they just got in a sack. It was like 4th and forever, and I'm like, "Come on!" And then, of course, when Brady heaves that ball up, you don't see the ball first. It disappears.
Yeah.
And I couldn't breathe.
Right.
And then I start rolling around in the back of the end zone, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
And from the angle, the first angle that they showed, it looked like Gronk had a chance at that ball.
It did. That's why I held my breath. I'm like, "Where's the ball?"
Right.
I didn't see it, and then
Yeah, absolutely insanity. You think Dion could? And you know what? Another one we mentioned earlier. Top Giant plays. I was just thinking about it. The Hail Mary catch against the Packers. That's up there. Hakeem Nicks, right? Let's see what Pat Shermer ambiguous about starting quarterback. Will Daniel start week 1? I don't think he start week 1, Russell Johnson. I really don't.
What was my reaction to Odell Beckham's catch? I was on a plane coming home from Orlando. I didn't see it.
Oh, really?
Not see it. Yep. I was coming home and I was just listening to it. Or getting updates on my phone, and then somebody took a picture of it and sent it to me. And I was like, then I had to go back and watch it. I mean, I taped the game
right
at home.
Right.
I remember I got to the Albany airport with about 2 minutes to go in the game, and I'm like, they're gonna freaking lose. I knew they were gonna lose. They had that game won, and again, Romo won right down the score. I knew they were gonna lose. That's what they did against them Cowboys all the time. They always have them beaten, and they let them walk down and win. It was always Jason Witten.
Yeah, and they lost. You think Dion could cover OBJ in his prime? Yes, I do.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, Deion Sanders is the greatest corner of all time. A lockdown corner could cover anybody. We saw Darrelle Revis that year. I mean, that 1 year Darrelle Revis was great with the Jets, but that 1 year in particular, he shut down every number 1 wide receiver in football. I remember he went up against Andre Johnson, Calvin Johnson. He went up against all these top wide receivers. A great cornerback can shut down any wide receiver, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cowboys coming for another sweep. My Cowboys family said, "We'll see, man. We'll see." Nia, by the way, go sub to their channel too. By the way, they got good content over there. Would have got under OBJ's skip probably. Yeah. Well, obviously we saw. We have a history with that.
Yeah.
Sanders versus Mega. I think Sanders versus anybody would be capable of shutout. He was one of the top 3 corners of all time, probably.
Cover corners, he could have been the best.
Yeah.
Couldn't tackle.
Yeah, he couldn't tackle. OBJ is not unstoppable. There were some marginal corners that did well. Yeah, he was not unstoppable. You guys going to game 1 in Big D. We will be there to watch the Cowboys defeat the... I don't think I'm going to be there. And you're
I definitely will not be there.
Yeah. Cesar Munoz, thank you so much for the super chat. Really do appreciate that. He says, that's a good one too. The JPP blocked field goal against the Cowboys. That was a great play. Monumental. Yeah, that was a big play. Yeah, absolutely. Good call.
I mean, I'm trying to. There's so many with the Giants. I mean, I want to talk about a big play. Mark Ingram's conversion on 3rd and 13 in the 1990 Super Bowl. That was ridiculous because he caught the ball. It was a 4-yard pass. He broke 4 tacklers. He broke 4 separate tackles. He ducked under one. He crossed. Mark Kelso went this way. Ingram went that way. And then he spun off a guy and dragged him for 2 yards.
What about the play you always see when you go to a Giants game? They showed on the highlights. The Bavaro carrying 10 people on his back.
Yeah, that was crazy.
How about that one?
He dragged Ronnie Lott 20 yards down the field.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's another.
Bavaro was I loved Bavaro. That dude just ate nails.
Yeah.
That dude ate nails.
That guy was a New York Giant.
That guy broke his damn jaw in week 4 against the Saints. Right? And you see right at the beginning of the game, he gets hit. Actually, the game's on YouTube, which I haven't seen it since '86. So I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna." And I knew he broke his jaw in that game, but I didn't know when. and you could see it right away. I mean, the guy comes in with his helmet, just hits him right there, and you can just see Bavaro just, and then he leaves the game, and then they wire it shut, and he comes the hell back out there, and he scores a damn touchdown. The Giants are down 17-0, they end up winning that game.
I love that guy.
So, and then he did not miss a game. Bill Parcells just said he went around eating a cereal through a straw. Parcells said he came up to the back of him, and he punched him in the back like, I'm ready to go. He couldn't say it, but he's like, I'm ready to get in there. Bavaro was just...
I wish I got to see Bavaro.
Not to mention, anybody that says he dreamed about murdering Buddy Ryan, that's my guy.
That's a good one, too. The Shockey no-helmet catch and run. That's a good one, too. You guys are picking out some good ones. That's a good one. Entertainer, where would you rank Megatron amongst wide receivers? He's top 10 for sure, Calvin Johnson. He had almost a 2,000-yard season. Yeah. Baddog and Chris, I'm not a big fan of the New York Giants. My realistic win projections for this season are six. That's most people. I mean, most people have 6 or 5 wins, so you're with the majority. I would not be shocked if they finished with those. I'm going to be honest. But I do think 7, 8 wins, even 9, if everything breaks right, is possible. So I'm going to go into the year optimistically, and as I've said, I'm going to take it on a game-in, game-out basis. I'm not going to, week 1 we got the Cowboys. I'm worried about the Cowboys. I'm not worried about week 2, 3, 4, Cowboys. That's it. Right now we're 0-0. That's my prediction.
Yep, Russell Johnson, Fat Tire is amazing beer. I drank that during the football season a lot. I think I drank that 3 weeks in a row. I don't usually drink beers 3 weeks in a row, but Fat Tire was on my...
Fat Tire is very good. Yeah.
Very good beer.
Yeah, very good. I had that in Vegas, actually, when I was in Vegas.
Yeah, very good. Maybe the next time we do this show, I'll get some Fat Tire just for Russell Johnson.
I got to get a cannoli next time we do the show.
Yeah! I'm on a damn diet, so no cannolis for me. It's freaking ridiculous. Strict diet is ridiculous. The 13 to 1,700 calorie a day diet.
That's tough, man.
It's not.
No, you're right. I've done that before. It's not that tough.
You can eat a lot of food for 1,700 calories. You just got to eat the right food.
It's just a matter of
eating the right food. Don't eat a Big Mac. There goes your whole damn day.
Oh my God! Yeah, I was out at a bar the other night, and they had like a sundae, and I looked at the calories. It was at Miller's Ale House, 3,000 calories for one dessert. I was like, are you kidding me? And it's just a piece of cake. It's not even like this huge thing.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they got all the stuff on it, but yeah, it was like 3,200 calories. It's a day's and a half worth of calories.
Yeah. Anthony Manzano says, Baddog, what's your favorite play of all? Oh, my favorite LT play of all time? Wow.
What's going on, Rudy Teleford? Thank you for popping in, my man.
God, he had so many. Oh man, that's hard to pick. I mean, he had, there was one before my time against the Lions in 82. Well, not before my time, before I started watching football, against the Lions in 82, where he came in like the second half and he dominated, just throwing the quarterback. I forgot the Lions quarterback's name. He was throwing him around the whole time. The Lions were ready to drive. They were ready to win the game. I think they were down. The Giants were up 10-6. The Cowboys were just Thanksgiving too, I think. The Lions ready to score. LT picks off pass, runs 97 yards for a touchdown. That was a good one. He picked off Montana in 86, ran in for a touchdown when Jim Burt knocked Montana out of the game. That was a good one.
The Theismann play is obviously famous. You never root for a guy to get hurt.
Right. I think it's not really a play so much with LT. In 1986, my dad, it's one of the few away games he went to. My father and grandfather, we went down to the old RFK Stadium in 86. It was a huge game. The Giants and Redskins are both 11-2, and LT had 3 sacks in the first half of that game. That was huge, and Schrader threw 6 picks. They could not guard Lawrence Taylor. And everyone's like, oh, Lawrence Taylor was only blocked by running backs and tight ends. He pissed on Joe Jacoby, who's in the Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken, or he should be. I mean, he's one of the hogs. He's one of the best freaking left tackles there is, okay? And LT made him look stupid.
Oh, LT was ridiculous.
And LT missed another 4 sacks like that much. I think LT had like 7 or 8 quarterback hits in that game. That was probably my favorite LT moment. Would be that.
You were there too. Yeah.
That was a big game.
Yeah.
For both of them, like I said, they were both 11-2. So that was Giants ended up sweeping the Redskins that year. The Redskins lost 5 games that entire season, 3 of them against the Giants, including the playoffs. 86. Redskins are damn good. They just can't beat the Giants. They can't.
They really can't. When LT caused the fumble against Roger Craig to set up a game-winning field goal to make...
No. LT recovered the fumble. Eric Howard knocked the ball loose. LT recovered it.
Too
That's
bad
my
LT
favorite
was a
ball.
coke addict. Yeah, LT was a coke addict, but I mean that not making excuses for him. That was the times back then. Darryl Strober was a coke addict. Dwight Gooden was a coke. A lot of great New York athletes in
It was
that
a New
time.
York thing.
Yeah.
A New York thing.
Chris, are there linebackers today that have Lawrence Taylor? No.
No.
Not when you. I mean, maybe in terms of an athlete, but in terms of how much better he was compared to the other athletes on a football field, there's not a player like it.
LT was so far ahead of his time because he was big. He was like 6'3", 240, and he ran like a 4.6 40. And his motor never. That guy, not only was he just athletically gifted, his heart, his desire to win, his leadership, his just everything about that guy was. Again, I can never put into words how good he was. You had to have seen him play to understand what kind of impact this guy had on a football game.
He changed the sport. How many players can you say changed the sport of football? There's maybe 5.
Yeah.
And he's one of them.
He changed everything. That strip sack everybody does, that was LT's. Nobody did that before him.
Right.
He went after the quarterback first, but as soon as he got to the corner, he was knocking the ball out of there. Every time.
He was the first player from. I didn't get to see him in his prime, but everything you always hear, he was really the first defensive players that teams actually game planned for an individual defensive player. They said, we got to stop him, and he changed the sport of football. There was never a player like him, and there hasn't been one since.
Yeah, nobody like LT. So far ahead of his time, and he just, like I said, you had to have seen that guy play to just understand what he was like.
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous.
Anthony Manzano says, what's your opinion on Brian? We're going to go for about another 5 minutes. I wanted to go a little later tonight because we started late. He says, what's your opinion on Brian Urlacher? Of course, great middle linebacker from the Chicago Bears.
Yeah. He was he was great. Great linebacker. I think if you want to compare him, and there was another great Bear, there was a middle linebacker, it was Mike Singletary, except for Urlacher was bigger. But I think that they're about the same type of player.
Am I mistaken? Am I misremembering this? I'm pretty sure Urlacher came into the league as a safety, or he played safety in college.
I honestly don't know.
I
didn't know much about Urlacher in college. I didn't know much about Urlacher until he started the ball out for the Bears.
Yeah.
I never.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. In my lifetime, he's definitely one of the top 10 for sure middle linebackers, probably top 5. Ray Lewis is number 1 in my opinion since I've been watching the sport at the middle linebacker position, but he's up there. What's going on, QC? Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. Really do. Zach Thomas was another really good middle linebacker. I'm thinking of guys off the top of my head.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good ones.
Junior Seau is a really good middle linebacker.
Junior Seau is a great one. Yeah, he's up there. It's crazy to think we could have paired him with Reggie White. Yes. Yeah, somebody said that the other day. Opinion on Eric Flowers' career as a Giant. He's the worst Giant in the history of the team, probably.
He's pretty bad.
Yeah, he was that bad.
Pretty bad. You know what's funny? In '81, the Giants, they could have drafted Howie Long. They drafted Lawrence Taylor. Howie Long went late, so did Singletary. They could have drafted Singletary, Long, and LT. Can you imagine that?
Craziness. QC says he got his shirt. Chris Bass.
Nice. There you go. There you go. Thank you for ordering one of those, QC. I really appreciate it. Very nice. Awesome.
And
awesome.
Chris Bass says, thank you for tuning in, Chris Bass. He says, hey, y'all, been a while. Got love for both of y'all. Go Giants. Appreciate you for popping in. We'll be live for another 5 minutes. We'll go to 11:50. It's 11:44. We started late tonight. Usually we start earlier, but my new work set up. But, yeah, so I appreciate everybody for being here. And if you guys have not done so, please subscribe, ring the bell, join the channel, and go into the link in the description. We'll be on Baddog channel next week. So if you want to watch the show next week, you got to go on. Actually, next week, might not be able to do it next week. I'm going to be in Texas next week. But we'll figure something out. Yeah, we'll figure something out. But next time we're going to be doing the show, it will be on Baddog's channel. What's going on, Stephen Pazienza? Thank you for tuning in the stream. My man, Stephen Pazienza is the freaking man. Love that guy.
Pazienza, yes. What's up,
Chris
Steve?
Sinor calls him pizza. By the way, where's Sinor? I haven't seen that lunatic tonight. Where's he been?
He probably got grounded for something.
Best overall athlete of all time. Bo Jackson's up there.
Bo Jackson.
Yeah, he's up there.
That's the guy who always comes to my mind.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking 4 major sports, if you're going outside of that, you say
if you're going to the Olympics, that's
Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps.
Yeah. But in the 4 major sports, Bo Jackson's pretty good.
Strahan or LT? LT, not close. Not close. It's not close.
Have a good night, Lamel Sinclair.
LT was
head and shoulders. Yeah, not close. And Strahan's great, but not close.
And the other thing is, Strahan, he's got 141 sacks or 142. How many does he have? I think he has 142 sacks, right?
Somewhere around there, mid 100s, yeah.
I think he's got 141 or 142. Well, LT's got 132.5, but sacks didn't become an official stat until 1982. LT had 9.5 sacks his rookie season, so they actually, I believe, have the same amount of sacks if you count the sacks from 1981. Even though they weren't an official stat, they kept it.
And the other thing you got to factor in when you compare, to me, it is much more impressive that he got 142 sacks in his era compared to Strahan in his, because think about it, the quarterbacks threw a lot more in Strahan's era, so he had a lot more opportunity to get sacks.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with the NFL now, how all the quarterbacks throw. You look at the sacks now. I mean, it used to be when I started watching football, and this was an era where they threw a little more, obviously, the leading guy would have, Strahan that one year, but usually 14, 15, you'd have maybe 4 or 5 guys in the teens. Now you've got like 25. Like a ton of guys got 12, 13 sacks.
Yeah.
Because everybody throws,
Yeah, it's true.
Where's the beer? I polished it off. off.
Oh, yeah, Peroni. I didn't even see it. I saw the green bottle. I know it was Peroni.
Jim Brown Jim Brown was great. Jim Brown, a lot of people say, is the greatest lacrosse player of all time. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah. He was a lot of people say that. He was an unbelievable. He's from Long Island, and lacrosse is huge on Long Island. And he was known as one of, if not the greatest lacrosse player of all time. He's an unbelievable athlete.
Right.
Next, Eli Manning's the next Giants.
Eli.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it is it's 11:47. It's winding down here, guys. I just want to say thank you to everybody who was a part of this stream, who came and hung out with us tonight. All the new subscribers that popped in. I appreciate everybody for being here. Of course, Bad Dog is the freaking man. Always appreciate when we do this show. Love doing this show with you. We're going to continue to do it in season. It's going to be so much fun.
It's awesome. But let me just say, how can I be the man when you're the man?
A little Sir Cardinal there.
I always do that.
But yeah, man, I had a great time tonight. Obviously, Giant.
You get me on. I love this show.
This show's the best.
It's the best thing I do on YouTube.
Yeah, this show's the best. And we got 2 more days of OTAs. Just going over the Giants real quick. We got day 9 and 10 the next 2 days. Then we're gonna have a break. I think rookies come into camp early July, and then you're gonna have the pros coming in there, or maybe late June. I don't remember, but we'll have about a 2 or 3 week break before we hear some more Giants action. But yeah, man, Bad Dog, thank you, man, so much for coming on. I always like to give you the last word, and thank you to everybody for tuning in.
Yes, as always, man. Thank you for having me on. You guys in the chat, gals as well. Thank you so much. We love you guys and gals. You're the best. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you for all your support in this show, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Until then, have a great night, and we'll see you next time. It is Bad Dog and the Entertainer, and we are gone. Peace!